Hi, my name is Jessica James, and I'm going to make a video, I guess, discussing our journey, my husband and my journey with infertility. This isn't normally my style. I've recently started looking up infertility videos, testimonies from other women and other couples who are going through what we're going through, and none of them have really spoken to me, and I think that's because every journey is so personal, and all situations are different. All women are different, all men are different, and maybe by doing this I will be able to find some sort of relief or catharsis, and maybe if you're struggling like we are and you stumble upon this, that you will maybe find some too. So I am 32, my husband is 34, and we dated for 10 years before we got married. We got married in October of 2015, and we postponed our honeymoon until March of 2016. I was in the middle of a career move and the holidays were about to happen, so we just kind of decided to put it off when there was nothing coming up, so it would really give us something to look forward to. And we went to Hawaii, and it was great, and it was during that time that we decided we were going to start trying to have a baby and make our family. We had all of this planned out. That I was on birth control up until our wedding, and that was because I didn't want any unexpected surprises on my wedding day. And by that I mean, like, I really just didn't want to start my period before my wedding, and I didn't want to be pregnant before my wedding either. You know, I bought the dress and I wanted it to fit. So as soon as that was over, I stopped taking birth control. So that was 5 months from when I got off and went on my honeymoon, and I thought that would be enough time, you know, for it to get out of my system. Now, I was on birth control for a long time, probably about 12 years. And it, according to my app on my phone, our honeymoon actually coincided with my ovulation week, and that was super exciting. And we tried to have a baby, and I thought, it's gonna be no problem. Every woman in my family has gotten pregnant without a problem, multiple kids, and I thought that I would be exactly the same. And I thought that I might have been pregnant, that I was this, you know, we were that couple that got pregnant, you know, when they first started trying. Because wouldn't you know it, that my body followed my birth control schedule, that I still started my period on the same day even when it was out of my system. But wouldn't you know it, though, that that would actually be the first month that my body regulated itself. So I was late. I think it was for like 5 days I was late, and I was super excited. And then my period came, and then I realized that the birth control had gotten out of my system, and my body was starting to do what it naturally did, and it didn't follow that cycle anymore. So that was disappointing, but you know, whatever, we'll keep going. And I was super excited, you know, because I thought it would happen so fast. And I bought our pregnancy announcements. I know maybe that sounds stupid, but everybody knew that we were trying to have a baby. Everyone. I was very public about it, and that's because I really thought that I wouldn't have any problem conceiving. Everyone knew that we were trying on this month, and we were going to try on our honeymoon because, I don't know, I hit an age where people were asking, and we had finally gotten married. And so I was just kind of beating everyone to the punch. So I was like, hey, this is our plan, and when we know, you'll know. So I bought my pregnancy announcements, and they came. And then my period came with it. And this kept happening month after month after month. And I was starting to get concerned. And I I went to my OBGYN in October. So we'd been trying for what? 8 months with nothing. And they don't do anything for you, before a year, and understandably so, because that's a normal, it's normal for people to conceive in that amount of time. But he referred me to a specialist, and I got the number for that, and I waited. I put it off, and I said if we're not pregnant in a year, then I would contact the specialist. And I actually wanted to contact them before that because I didn't know if there was like a waiting list, if, oh yeah, we're accepting new patients, but you can't get in for 2 to 3 months. Well, then that would be bad. So, but it did actually wait until March, and I set up the appointment. And it was March 14th that we had our first appointment with the fertility specialist, and exactly 1 year before that, we were enjoying our Maui honeymoon trying to make a baby. And I never thought that could be me, And it is also during this time period, and I have no idea why I'm getting emotional right now because I'm generally not a very emotional person. It was during this time period that 2 of my sisters were pregnant. One was my oldest sister, who wasn't trying but was not trying either, and got pregnant like that with twins, a boy and a girl, who have actually since been born, and they're beautiful, and I love my niece and nephew so much. But she's gotten pregnant and had her children, and I'm still trying. Another sister who actually coincidentally had started trying to get pregnant in the same month that I did, unbeknownst to both of us, we had a conversation about 8 months in about how we were concerned that we hadn't been pregnant yet. And little did we both know at that time that she actually was pregnant during that conversation, and she's getting ready to have her baby in less than 2 months. And so they're starting their families, and I'm still waiting to have mine. And I also want to say I'm not a politically correct person. I don't like walking on eggshells around people, and I don't want people to be like that with me. And the things that I'm going to say in this video are my feelings, and it is not intended to hurt anyone or put someone out or make them feel angry or upset. These are just my feelings. Or even more to the point, they're not my feelings, they are things I have felt. That the way that sometimes you feel in the moment is not how you think about it on the whole in the long run. When we started, I thought when you went to your infertility specialist, because I didn't do a lot of research about this, and I think part of that is because I'm in denial, that this isn't us. It's just, and I thought I would go in and they would take some blood and maybe do some tests, and then they would say, boom, here's your problem and we can fix that and let's get going. And that's actually not how that happens. We sat down with our doctor and for about an hour, and they kind of talk about the process and what we're going to do to try and get there. And my husband and I are very, very lucky that we have amazing insurance that covers a great portion of these procedures. But even still, you do pay out of pocket, and it's affordable in that we can do it, but it's hurting us a little bit financially too. So I can't even imagine the couples who don't have that kind of coverage, because if we didn't, we couldn't even do this. So I'm thankful for that. And she said that a lot of times, we fall into that category of people where It's just kind of, it's an unknown reason. And the doctor said that that was actually very, very normal. That's actually the larger portion of the infertile population. That is just kind of an unknown reason. So she said infertility is a process of tweaks. Trying to figure out exactly kind of what it is. From what I understand, I just don't have a lot of follicular growth is what they would expect of somebody my age. And my cycle is really strange that I can have a 25-day cycle or a 29-day cycle. And there's really no telling, you know what I mean? And that's like a 5-day difference. So that's problematic. My husband, several months ago, had a semen analysis done. And my regular OB said that although his count was a little low, that he really didn't think it was something, it wasn't a barrier. But when I went to the fertility specialist, they said that, and they look at it a bit more in depth. So we did another sample, and come to find out, he hits low pretty much all across the board. So we got hit with a double whammy that it's me and it's him too. And the day that we actually found that out, I looked at him and I was like, man, I know this is a really fucked up thing to say, but like, I'm kind of glad that it's you too, you know, because that's a lot of pressure for a woman to feel that you can't do what you are supposed to do. Like, I cannot do it. So it did. It made me feel better on some sad, bad, competitive way. But so you go in and there are a lot of vaginal ultrasounds that you do, where they have to go in and they check the lining of your uterus. I had a saline ultrasound where they take a speculum and they open it up just like a regular pap, and then they insert a catheter, and then they inject saline in to make sure that, you know, everything's free and clear in there, you know, that there are no barriers. I don't want to say that it's painful. It's not comfortable, as you can imagine. I've done that. I started taking Clomid. Took me forever to get Ovidril, which was still expensive. Like, my insurance covered about that much. And it's been a process. Every month it's a wait and see. Well, we'll see what happens this month, and we'll test this, and we'll see what happens this month. And I just last month had my first IUI, and it didn't work. And I actually wasn't hopeful that it would. That's a lie. You're always a little hopeful. Even if I knew in my heart that it didn't take, I just knew it. But you're still hopeful, because even though I knew my period was coming, I could feel it. I knew it was coming. It still hurts when you do. This is where the feelings come in. I am thankful that modern science and medicine has advanced so much that we can do these things, and that we have good insurance that's helping us tremendously, that my husband's very supportive. But there are so many times where I don't want to be fucking thankful. I don't want to be thankful. I don't want to be thankful that because people say, they're like, well, it's expensive and babies are expensive. Yes, but your starting point here, I'm starting way back here. And there's no guarantee that this could even work. According to my insurance, I have to go, I have to have an IUI 6 times. And if they fail all 6 times, then they'll do IVF. And it's just another month. It's a wait and see, and a wait and see, and a wait and see. And I'm watching everyone around me start their families, and I don't get to start mine. And there's no guarantee that I'll ever be able to start my family. Like, if we're being realistic and pragmatic about this whole thing, it could not work. That I could go through 6 IUIs, I could do IVF. I don't even know how much of our insurance covers IVF. I'm sure that it's still going to be very expensive for us out of pocket. And I don't know if they do cover it, how many times they cover it, because those can fail as well. And I actually did just tell my husband on Friday when I started, that there is a limit for me. That there will come a point where enough is enough, and I just have to accept this for what it is, and we can start to look at other ways to make our family complete. And I know I've seen couples that have been struggling with this for like 5 years, and I can't, I won't do that. I won't do that. I think after trying this for maybe a year, going through procedures, and depending upon how much coverage there is, like financially, there will have to be a cutoff where the money just, we don't have it. You know what I mean? And it can't come from nowhere. So there will be a point that I let him know, and he's completely supportive, where I was like, I won't be able to do this anymore. And I won't want to, because with every month that passes, I get a little bit older. And I thought I would have my baby. I really did. I had this vision. If we gotten pregnant in March, then our baby most likely would be due in December around Christmas time. And I had our little social media announcement, all the ideas in my head and all of those things. And I thought I'd be 31 when I had my baby. I'll be lucky to be 33 before I have my first baby. And that's if I'm lucky. But this journey is so emotionally and physically and spiritually draining. And it is so lonely. I don't know. In my personal life, I don't know a single person who's gone through this. I have friends who have friends, or I know someone, or their cousin has, and they want you to contact them, which, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to do, because that's contrary to what you're seeing. I'm not really, I don't reach out to people emotionally. I just don't. I'm really good with showing other emotions like happiness and anger, but sadness and things that make me feel very vulnerable, I tend to keep all that inside, and you just shove those feelings down. And so it's hard to feel like the people that you can lean on for support, the ones who are I'm there for you, and they are, and their support is immense and wonderful, but they can't relate to it. They have children, or they don't want children, and they can only relate so much. So I go back to the doctor on Monday. It's Sunday, so tomorrow. I'll go back tomorrow, and they'll do another vaginal ultrasound, even though I'm on my period, which is super awesome. I didn't actually know that the first time that they said they were going to take my baseline. We were going to check my baseline. I thought they were just going to take some blood. I was not prepared mentally or physically for that sort of procedure, but now I know, and knowing is half the battle.